to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
It began quietly, like most storms do, a whisper on the edge of the internet, half rumor, half concern. To the outside world, Teyana Taylor seemed to be basking in sunlight, her career thriving, her art expanding, her love life blooming once again. After a public divorce and a long season of self-reinvention, she appeared to have found peace beside actor Aaron Pierre, a man she often described as gentle and grounding. "He handles me delicately," she once said, "like a cup of tea." It was the kind of statement fans wanted to believe. After all, who doesn't want to see a woman step out of chaos and into calm? Teyana's love story looked like a redemption arc, soft light after a storm. But slowly, quietly, that light began to flicker. Whispers started circulating in comment sections and DMs. A phrase began to repeat itself in hushed tones: "He's a manipulator. At first, it sounded like just another piece of celebrity gossip, the kind that rises and fades within a week. But something about it lingered. It didn't sound like jealousy or clickbait. It sounded like fear. Friends and family, people who had known Teyana long before the fame, began noticing subtle changes. The way she spoke more careful, less candid. The way she smiled softer, but somehow restrained. She still looked radiant, but the spark seemed contained, as though someone had drawn invisible lines around her light. It wasn't dramatic, not at first. The shift was almost imperceptible. She posted less often about her sisters. Her laughter in interviews seemed measured, her once unfiltered humor tempered. When her family gathered, there were glances exchanged, silent questions left unanswered. And then came the murmurs that Aaron was controlling, that he wanted her attention entirely, that she checked in with him before interviews or turned down projects she once would have embraced. The kind of control that doesn't come with shouting or threats, but with subtle persuasion, a steady hand on the small of the back that directs without seeming to to the public. Aaron Pierre was thoughtful and composed, an actor known for depth and restraint. To Teyana, he was her calm, a partner who saw her vision and never called her crazy for dreaming too big. And maybe both could be true. Love often holds contradictions, care can coexist with control, and devotion can hide dependency. But within Teyana's circle, unease began to grow. A relative allegedly confided to a friend that something didn't feel right. "She's not the same," they said. "She's quieter, smaller." It wasn't said out of malice. It was said out of worry, the kind that creeps in when you recognize someone you love fading behind a version of themselves they didn't choose. Family sees what fans can't. They catch the stillness in a laugh that used to fill the room, the hesitation before a word. To them, the difference wasn't about fame or maturity. It was about freedom. Still, Teyana spoke kindly of Aaron. In interviews, she praised his patience, his sensitivity. "He lets me be me," she said once. But to some listeners, that phrase didn't sound like liberation, it sounded like defense. When the rumors began circulating online, they spread like wildfire. Fans dissected her photos, her captions, even her body language in recent red carpet appearances. They wanted to know if the rumors were real, if the artist who had once built a career on independence was now living within someone else's frame. Then came the screenshots, messages, comments, half-leaked posts from family members expressing quiet alarm. Maybe it was nothing more than concern exaggerated by the internet's echo chamber. Or maybe it was something closer to truth. "He wants to control her," one anonymous commenter claimed, supposedly close to the family. "He's charming in public, but it's different behind closed doors." Still, there was no hard proof, no accusations from Teyana herself, no public fallout. Just patterns, fragments, and the weight of silence. What makes stories like this so hard to grasp is that they don't unfold like scandals. They unfold like slow erosion. The lines blur: love and loyalty, care and control, calm and compliance. One can slip into the other without anyone realizing it's happening. People who knew Teyana best remember her fire unfiltered, unapologetic, a woman who spoke her mind even when it made people uncomfortable. Now, they said, she seemed muted. And yet, love complicates everything. For someone who's lived under public scrutiny, finding a private corner of peace can feel like survival. Maybe she was simply protecting that peace from critics, from tabloids, from the same public that once picked apart her marriage. Maybe she'd found something real and wanted to keep it safe. But what if the safety itself became the cage? Those close to her spoke about the small changes, how she canceled plans without explanation, how she hesitated before committing to appearances. There were stories about texts affectionate, yet constant, protective, yet frequent. The kind of attention that feels flattering at first, until it starts to feel like surveillance. When family members voiced concern, they were dismissed by fans as jealous or overprotective. "She's finally happy," people said. "Let her live." And perhaps they were right. Happiness isn't one size fits all. Some people find it in surrender, in letting someone else take the lead. But others saw the shift differently. In late summer, a post began circulating, an aunt allegedly writing, "I just want my Tay back." Whether real or fake, it struck a chord. It captured what everyone had been feeling, but hadn't said aloud, that love can change a person, and not always for the better. Meanwhile, Teyana stayed silent. No denials, no confirmations. She continued performing, releasing new work, smiling through interviews. Her art remained stunning, if anything, more introspective. But in that very introspection, fans heard something haunting, a woman wrestling with herself. When asked about love in one recent interview, she paused for a long moment before answering. "Boundaries in love," she said, "they're messy." Then she smiled, almost as if to erase the heaviness of what she'd just said. But the pause lingered longer than the words. It was the kind of pause that said more than any headline could. Maybe there is no villain in this story. Maybe there are only two people trying to love each other in the shadow of their past, one seeking control to feel secure, the other mistaking peace for freedom. Or maybe the whispers were right all along. Maybe the control wasn't imagined. As one family friend put it, "He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. He just makes her doubt herself." In that kind of power dynamic, love becomes performance. The partner begins to anticipate, to edit, to self-censor before being corrected. It's a quieter kind of manipulation, almost invisible until the person who once spoke loudest learns to whisper. Still, not everyone sees it that way. Many close to Teyana insist she's never been more focused, more creative, more loved. They call the rumors cruel, insisting that outsiders are mistaking growth for submission. Maybe they're right. Maybe this is simply what healing looks like after years of chaos. A softer voice, a slower rhythm. But others can't shake the feeling that something deeper is being lost in the process. The truth likely lives somewhere in the gray between love and fear, devotion and control, silence and self-protection. And until Teyana herself chooses to speak fully, the story will remain suspended there, a mirror reflecting both hope and unease. For now, her family stands close, watching, waiting, protecting her the only way they know how, not by tearing her love apart, but by making sure she doesn't disappear inside it, because that's what love can do too. It can consume, it can rewrite, it can turn even the strongest voice into an echo. And if there's one thing the people who love her agree on, it's that Teyana Taylor was never meant to be an echo. So they wait not for scandal, not for spectacle, but for her light to return on her own terms. Because sometimes the bravest thing a woman can do isn't leaving the storm or surviving it. It's realizing that the calm she's standing in isn't peace at all, it's silence.